When my son told me I wouldn't be welcome in his home for Christmas, I smiled, got in my car, and made one phone call. By New Year's, I started the process to free myself from the burden of their mortgage. And that was just the beginning of my plan. Justice had to be served, and arrogance had to be put in its place. You won't believe what I did next. But before we dive deeper, please hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. Now, let's get into it. I'd offered to make my famous turkey this year, picturing myself lounging on Michael's leather couch, with sage stuffing, your mom's favorite. Remember how she always said it outdid her grandma's? Those words hung in the warm air between us, blending with the scent of Isabella's expensive vanilla candles. Michael shifted beside me, his wedding ring catching the light from their 12-foot Christmas tree. Something in his posture changed, his shoulders tensed like he was bracing for a blow. "Dad, unfortunately, you won't be welcome at Christmas," he said. Those words hit me like a punch. I blinked, certain I'd misheard. "What do you mean? Why won't I be welcome?" Michael couldn't meet my gaze, his eyes fixed on the marble coffee table I'd helped him choose last spring when Isabella decided their old furniture wasn't sophisticated enough. "Isabella's parents are coming, and they'd prefer if you weren't there." My hands went cold. "They'd prefer. It'll be easier this way, Dad. You know how her family is about traditions. They have their own way of doing things." His voice grew softer, almost shrinking. I scanned the living room, the silk curtains I'd paid for when Isabella complained about privacy, the hardwood floors I'd mortgaged my home for, the crown molding that maxed out my credit card. Every inch of this house carried the weight of my sacrifices, my love for my son. "Their way," I repeated slowly. "And what is that way, Michael?" He flinched. "Dad, please don't make this harder." Through the kitchen arch, I spotted Isabella's new professional KitchenAid mixer, $2,000 of my money, likely used twice since October for her 3-week holiday baking phase. Where am I supposed to spend Christmas then? My question came out quieter than I intended. Michael's face twisted. "Maybe you could, I don't know, visit Aunt Rosa, or we could meet up the following weekend." The following weekend, as if Christmas was just another reschedulable appointment. I stood, my knees protesting after 8 years of carrying this load alone. "I see. Dad, wait." But I was already heading to the door, passing family photos where my face grew smaller and more distant in each frame. Past the closet overflowing with Isabella's 1,000 coats. My hand found the doorknob, solid and cold under my palm. "Son," I said without turning, "tell Isabella's parents. Feliz Navidad." The December air stung my face like a slap as I walked to my truck. Behind me, I heard Michael call out, then the soft click of the door shutting. Final. Absolute. I sat in the driver's seat, engine off, staring at the Christmas lights twinkling in windows where I'd never be invited. My phone buzzed. Probably Michael with empty apologies and guilt. I didn't answer. Instead, I turned the key and drove into the darkness, leaving behind the warm glow of the house I'd bought but had no place in. The heater hummed, battling the December chill as I drove home through familiar streets. South Hills stretched around me, every corner a memory of who I used to be, a man who believed family was everything, who'd give his last dollar for his son's smile. That man was a fool. I stopped at a red light at 29th and Grand, watching a young father load Christmas gifts into his SUV. His kids pressed their faces to the window, breath fogging the glass with excitement. That used to be us, Michael and me. Before Isabella, before I became a walking ATM with inconvenient emotions. Numbers started spinning in my head like a broken slot machine. $2,800 every month for 5 years. My calculator quit last spring when I totaled it, $140,000. More than Maria and I had saved for retirement. Gone, just gone. I hit the gas harder than needed when the light turned green, the truck roaring to match my mood. 5th Street, where I refinanced our home, Maria's and mine, to cover their down payment. The loan manager looked at me with pity I didn't recognize then. "Mr. Flores, are you sure? You're risking a lot for someone else's investment." Someone else's investment? Not my son's future, not my family's security, someone else's. Lincoln Street, the bank where I took a second mortgage when Michael lost his job 2 years ago. "Temporarily, Dad. Just until I get back on my feet." Isabella stood behind him, nodding with a $700 purse over her shoulder, mentally tallying my desperate help's worth. Nothing, it turned out. My desperation meant nothing to them. I pulled into my driveway, its cracked concrete a reminder of repairs I couldn't afford because every dollar fueled their perfect suburban fantasy. The porch light flickered, another fix I'd delayed. Inside, the house felt empty without Maria's laughter, without the family gatherings that would never return. My phone rang as I fumbled with my keys, the sharp sound bouncing off the empty walls. Isabella's name lit up, likely calling to explain why I wasn't good enough for her parents' refined tastes. Perfect timing. I'd waited 5 years for this. I answered on the fourth ring, making her wait just enough to wonder. "Dennis," her voice dripped with fake sweetness, the same tone she used to ask me to cover their water bill or property taxes. "I heard about the little misunderstanding with Michael." "Misunderstanding?" I leaned against the kitchen counter, still in my coat. "I don't think there's a misunderstanding, Isabella. You've made your position clear. Look, I know it seems harsh, but you have to understand my parents' perspective. They're very traditional. They expect a certain atmosphere for the holidays." "A certain atmosphere," I echoed. "And what is that?" A pause. I heard rustling bags, probably spending money meant for the mortgage, money I was supposed to provide. "Well, they're not used to your food, all that spicy Mexican stuff and loud music. And honestly, Dennis, they're educated people. They expect talk of current events, literature, art, you know." Those words hit harder than a fist. For 8 years I'd swallowed insults for Michael, ignored how she looked at me like hired help. "My food." I kept my voice steady, controlled. "You mean the food you ate every Sunday for 3 years when money was tight? The tamales you said reminded you of your grandma's?" "That was different. We were grateful then. But now, with my parents. Now, with your parents, you can't have a Mexican peasant embarrassing you at your fancy table." The sweetness vanished. "Don't dramatize, Dennis. It's not about race. It's about class. My father graduated from Washington University with honors. My mother speaks 4 languages. They summer in the Hamptons. What do you bring to dinner talk? Stories about laying tile." Heat surged in my chest, but I stayed calm. "I built a business from nothing after your grandfather died. I employed over 50 people. I've paid more in taxes than your father earned in his best year." "Money isn't everything, Dennis. Background matters. Education matters. And frankly, Maria knew her place better than you know yours." Silence. She crossed a line I didn't know existed until she stomped it with her designer heels. "What did you say about my wife?" "I'm just saying she blended in better. She didn't cause problems. She knew some spaces weren't for her." My hand gripped the phone, knuckles whitening. "Maria had more class in her pinky than your entire family." "Oh, please, she was a cleaning lady who got lucky. At least she had the sense to stay quiet." "Isabella," my voice dropped to a tone I barely recognized. "Listen closely. This conversation is over. We're done pretending to be family. You can't just—" "We're done," I repeated, and hung up. I set the phone down carefully, hands steady. The kitchen felt smaller, cleaner, like a weight had lifted. I walked to my desk, pulling out the manila envelope I'd avoided for months. Bank statements, mortgage papers, 5 years of transfers that drained me while they lived like royalty. Time to stop the bleeding. The documents lay on the kitchen table like crime scene evidence. 5 years of bank statements, each with that $2,800 transfer on the 15th, vanishing to them. Proof of my naivety. I grabbed the calculator. First year, $33,600. Second year, another $33,600. By year 3, I stopped buying new clothes. Year 4, I shopped discount groceries. This 5th year, peanut butter sandwiches for lunch to scrape by. $143,400. Not counting the down payment, the utility bills when Isabella's shopping spun out, the new roof, landscaping, furniture, essential to their image. I leaned back, staring until the numbers blurred. Maria's insurance, my retirement, the college fund for grandkids I'd never see, all gone. Poured into a house where I wasn't welcome at Christmas. I picked up my phone, but instead of the bank, I called my old friend, attorney James Collins. Time to get smart. James, it's Dennis Flores. I need a consultation. I want to protect my finances and end the support draining me for 5 years. His voice was warm, professional. Dennis, it's been a while. Tell me what's up. I laid it out. The mortgage, down payment, years of payments, Isabella's insults. He listened, then said, "We can plan this. First, I'll draft documents to formally stop your support. It'll shield you if they sue or make a scene." I nodded, though he couldn't see. "How long?" "Give me a couple days to prepare. We'll send a certified letter stating you're no longer liable for their mortgage, and Dennis, gather all payment evidence. It might help." I hung up, feeling the weight ease. For once, I was acting with strategy, not emotion. I organized the papers for James, ready for the next step. Outside, December darkness cloaked Spokane. Christmas lights glowed in windows where families gathered without judgment. For the first time in 5 years, my budget felt like it could be mine. Since Maria's death, I could fix the porch light, buy real food, maybe take a vacation. I gathered the statements, mortgage documents, proof of my generosity. Then I lit the fireplace, watching 5 years of martyrdom turn to ash. The fire warmed my face, warmer than I'd felt in years. My phone buzzed, Michael apologizing, or Isabella needing money for essentials like throw pillows. I ignored it. I poured good whiskey, saved for a special occasion that never came. Tonight felt right. I raised the glass to Maria's photo on the mantel, to the man I was, and the one I'm becoming. "Merry Christmas to me," I said, and I meant it. The next morning was crisp and clear, December sun pouring through the kitchen windows as I sipped my second coffee. For the first time in years, I wasn't dreading the money leaving my account in 3 days. Freedom tasted better than the Colombian blend I'd finally bought. The phone rang at 10:47 a.m. Isabella's name, a warning. "Dennis." Her voice carried that familiar irritation. "I need you to pick up my parents from Spokane Airport. Their flight from Portland lands at 2 p.m. I set my mug down, watching steam rise. "Isabella, did you forget yesterday?" "Look, whatever that was, we need to focus on practicalities. My parents need a ride, and you're the only one free daytime." The audacity stunned me. Less than 24 hours after being excluded from their Christmas, she expected me to chauffeur them. "And you're asking because that's what family does, Dennis. They help each other." Her tone sharpened. "Besides, let's be real. You're no match for me, too weak, so get in your truck and pick them up." The final insult, cloaked as a command. "What flight?" I asked quietly. "Alaska Air, Flight 447, baggage claim, Carousel 3, and Dennis, they expect someone to handle their luggage properly. Don't embarrass us." I heard her nails tap something hard, likely the granite countertop I'd paid for when she deemed laminate unfit. "Of course," I said. "I'll handle it." "Good. Wear something decent. That blue shirt from Michael's graduation. They notice." She hung without thanks. I stared at the blank screen. 2 p.m. Flight 447, Carousel 3. Clock read 10:52. Plenty of time. I called a local taxi, booking a car for Cody and Catherine at 2 to Carousel 3. "Include a note," I told the dispatcher. "From Dennis Flores. This is the last time I pay for your convenience. You're on your own now." Then I poured more coffee, added extra sugar, and opened yesterday's paper to the unfinished crossword. 7 across. Deferred gratification. 12 letters. Answer. Reprieve. At 2:15 p.m., I settled into my favorite chair with Earl Grey tea and the Sunday Spokane Review. Crossword done. Phone buzzed. Isabella. I let it ring. December sun warmed the living room where I'd tallied my generosity's cost in solitude. Today, the silence was earned. By 2:47, a text. Dennis, what is this note? This isn't funny. I smiled, imagining Cody and Catherine's reactions. By 3:30, 6 calls. I finished the paper, brewed more tea, and tackled the junk drawer. Amazing what you can do without running errands for those who see you as help. 7th call. Unknown number. Likely her parents. Ignored. Outside, a neighbor hung Christmas lights, kids playing. Normal families. No one waited at the airport for me. By 4:15, calls buzzed like wasps. I unplugged the landline, silenced my mobile. Peace. I made grilled cheese and tomato soup, luxuries I'd skipped for months, saving for them. The cheese melted perfectly, soup steamed in my mug. Somewhere Cody and Catherine argued in a taxi, shocked by my stand. It made the meal taste better. By 5 o'clock, I'd eaten, loaded the dishwasher, and picked a movie. Years without evenings free of anxious calls. I reached for the remote when pounding shook the door. Not a knock, but fury rattling the frame. I walked slowly, knowing who'd be there. Peephole showed 3 figures, wolves. I opened it. Cody Jenkins, red-faced, barged in. What the hell's wrong with you? You sent a taxi with that insolent note? Catherine, hair mussed, added, outrageous, Dennis, barbaric. Isabella, in a rumpled coat, shouted, you humiliated us. Get out of my house. My voice sliced through their rage. They froze. Excuse me? Cody's face purpled. You don't call shots, pal. This is my house, I said quietly. Leave. Now. Catherine stepped forward, arrogance dripping. You don't grasp your mistake. My husband has connections everywhere. This was a lesson, I cut in, about your arrogance and mistreatment. Isabella gaped. A lesson? You're nobody. I'm the one who stopped being your ATM and taxi. I widened the door. Class dismissed. Cody jabbed a finger. You don't know who you're dealing with. I know important people. Threat? Promise, he hissed. Catherine, your actions will have public fallout. Isabella tugged her father. Dad, let's go. He's not worth it. They left, Cody turning. You'll regret this. I locked the door. The house felt cleaner. Their words echoed. Public fallout. Connections. I sipped tea, still warm. Unease flickered, but anticipation won. 3 days later, sipping coffee with the Spokane Review, I saw my face on page 3. Headline, Spokane businessman strands elderly couple at airport during holiday storm. An old company photo. The article chilled me and fueled rage. Cody and Catherine Jenkins, visiting their daughter, were abandoned for 4 hours when I didn't show. The couple, both 50s, waited in freezing conditions under a storm warning. It was 52 degrees, sunny. We couldn't believe it, Cody, a retired bank executive, said. We called, but Flores didn't respond. It labeled my erratic behavior and mental state. No mention of Christmas exclusion or years of exploitation. I was the villain, stranding tourists in a fake blizzard. Author, Patricia Morrison, lifestyle editor. I saw the play. Cody used connections to hit my reputation. Clever. In Spokane, that's everything. War declared. I folded the paper, mind shifting to strategy. This wasn't about the airport or Christmas. It was about winning. I opened my laptop, searching. Cody, Catherine, Isabella. Social media, connections, weaknesses, anything public. If they wanted chess, I'd show strategy. December 18th, 7 days to Christmas. 7 days to plan something unforgettable. 3 days in a new world. Not broken Dennis Flores, but the businessman, strategist who built from nothing. My laptop became Command Central. Cody, ex-bank manager, country club member, business association treasurer, a man with stakes. Catherine's Instagram, charity luncheons, wine, Coeur d'Alene, number-blessed life, all my money. Isabella's Facebook, Our home posts, the kitchen I funded, restaurants I paid for, status, excited for Christmas dinner, narcissism stunned. Michael's LinkedIn, key connection to Patricia Morrison, the author. They'd underestimated me, made it public, documented hypocrisy online. I checked Patricia, 43, WSU grad, 15 years in papers, no bank ties. Cody reached her via the editor, 3 mutual contacts. The article was rigged. I opened a doc, building a timeline. 5 years support, $47,000 down payment, $18,000 kitchen, $168,000 mortgage, $250,000. Phone buzzed. Isabella. Ignored. By evening, an envelope. Statements, receipts, purchase photos, article with notes. Lie by Cody's quotes. Lie by my erratic behavior. December 24th, Justice Day. Isabella's Facebook showed 12 guests. Family, friends, neighbors who read the review. They'd learn the truth. I grabbed my job site camera. Time to record something else. Christmas Eve morning, gray and cold. I laid out evidence like a lawyer. Statements, receipts, photos of Isabella's decorations, vacations, upgrades, all my money, copied 12 times. Article on top, annotated, lie, no context. I wore my best suit, navy blue, pressed. Farewell to the doormat I'd been. Today, I demanded respect. At 6:30 p.m., I loaded the briefcase and drove to Kendall Yards. Their house glowed, cars lining the street. Through windows, Isabella hosting in the home I helped buy. 6:45, all at dinner. Door unlocked. Isabella boasted of the neighborhood's safety. I entered. Warm air, laughter, chatter. We don't do that in our family, Catherine said. Our family, after excluding me. I stepped into the dining room, briefcase and camera rolling. 12 faces, from surprise to horror. Isabella froze with her wine. Michael paled. Cody and Catherine looked ghostly. Good evening, I said calmly, setting the briefcase on the sideboard, checking the camera. Hope you don't mind me joining. Isabella. Dennis, this is inappropriate. Leave. Actually, I pulled papers. Your guests deserve to know who paid for this house, this dinner, your lifestyle. A woman, Catherine's friend, leaned in. What's he saying? He's having a breakdown, Isabella snapped. Michael, call someone. I handed out packets. Bank records, 5 years, $168,000 mortgage, down payment, repairs, furniture, appliances. Silence, just paper rustling. Faces shifted, absorbing numbers. Outrageous, the woman said. Isabella, why silent? It's complicated, her composure cracked. Dennis offered. Let's discuss what you asked for. I held up the article and told the media. The room chilled. I laid out articles. Mr. Jenkins used connections for this, painted me unstable, stranding elderly and cold. A man in a sweater. Cody, what's this? Weather was sunny, I said. They're not tourists, Isabella's parents, who barred me from dinner. Catherine, we didn't what? I showed Isabella's posts. Didn't call me too low class? Say my Mexican food would embarrass you? Her friend shifted. Catherine, really? He's twisting it, Cody blurted. He's mentally unstable. Unstable? I nearly laughed. I supported you at $3,000 monthly. Your issues are the problem. I addressed the table. They took $200,000, insulted me, excluded me, and when I said no, attacked my name. Michael whispered, Dad, I didn't know about the article. Your wife did. Her parents orchestrated it. Dynamics shifted. Guests saw the lies. A woman in pearls. Cody, how could you exploit him, then attack? Cody, you don't get it. I do, she cut in. He supported you, and you treated him like help. Catherine, he sent a taxi note. After you excluded me for my ethnicity and education. Silence. 12 stared at Cody and Catherine with disgust. Isabella, this is family business. No, I said. It went public when you hit my character. I recorded this. I pointed to the camera. For the truth to stay. I turned it off, closed the briefcase. Enjoy dinner. Last one I fund. Leaving, I heard accusations, questions, their facade crumbling. Best Christmas music. March brought a certified letter. Notice of default, 3 months late, $8,400, 14 days or foreclosure. I set it aside, reading it like distant news. The phone rang for weeks. I blocked Isabella after her first hysterical message. Cody and Catherine, their status gone post-dinner. Michael, I ignored, curious and angry. Answer, 97 days. He knocked Thursday evening, older, rumpled, smelling of desperation. Dad, we need to talk. I let him in, noting his scan of my refreshed house. New furniture, paint, repairs, all mine now. Looks nice, he said quietly. This is what happens when you spend on yourself. Coffee? He declined, perching on the couch edge. Dad, I'm sorry. For Christmas, the article, how we treated you. Go on. I didn't know about the article. When I found out, he ran hands through hair. God, Dad, how they spoke of you, Mom. What about your mother? That she knew her place better, understood boundaries. You should have stood up. I know. He looked down. Silence. Outside, a neighbor mowed. The house is at risk, Michael said. I know. We can't pay without me, I finished. Without money I paid while you let them trash me. I know how it looks. Do you know how much I sent in 5 years? He nodded. $200,000, Isabella calculated. $237,468, I corrected. I tallied. His face twisted. I'm sorry. How to fix? Money's gone. Years gone. 5 I could have built with you. Maybe we start over. Asking to resume payments. Hope faded. We'll lose everything. Figure it out, I said, like I did, living without a son who respected me. He cried. Have I lost you? You gave me away. Can you forgive? I forgave months ago, but forgiveness isn't returning. Want a relationship? Family therapy. Once weekly, you and me. I went to the mantle, Maria's photo, an Easter shot with Rosa. Respect, not demanded. Choosing right. He nodded. The house? Not my problem. Get a job, sell, live within means. He stood, shoulders straight. You're right. I was proud at that dinner. Maybe hope remains. I poured whiskey, stepped to the porch. Spring in Spokane, trees budding, air warm. I'm nearing 63. Maria's been gone 8 years. I wasted 5 as a doormat. No more. Phone. Rosa's text. Dinner Sunday. Kids waiting. I replied, wouldn't miss it. Real family wants you. Whiskey tasted like freedom. Future bright. Wow, what a journey, right? If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in Dennis's shoes? Click the box on the left for the next story. Thanks for watching. See you next time.